has a way of magnifying things. Not because people suddenly become different, but because old roles, expectations, and emotional patterns are brought back to the surface. For many of us, Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a return to environments where we once learned who we were allowed to be. The peacemaker, the fixer, the quiet one, the strong one, the one who doesn't make a fuss, the one who absorbs tension so others don't have to. So when Christmas comes around, your nervous system often remembers before you do. You might notice it in your body first. Tightness in your chest. A sense of dread, days or weeks before. Feeling irritable, guarded, or unusually tired. Overthinking conversations that haven't even happened yet. That's not weakness, that's memory. Christmas tends to activate family systems because it carries unspoken expectations. You should be grateful. You should make the effort. It's only once a year. That's just how they are. And for people who grew up managing other people's emotions, those expectations don't feel neutral. They feel demanding. This is where toxicity often shows up, not always as shouting or obvious abuse, but as subtle boundary violations. Guilt disguised as concern, control disguised as tradition, criticism disguised as jokes, emotional pressure disguised as love, and the hardest part? You're often expected to tolerate it because it's Christmas. But here's something important to understand. If a relationship drains you, diminishes you, or requires you to shrink, the calendar does not make that healthy. Christmas doesn't magically turn toxic dynamics into safe ones. It just puts more emotional weight on them. That's why so many people feel torn at this time of year. They want peace, but they also want self-respect. They want connection, but not at the cost of their well-being. And this video is here to tell you something clearly. You are not difficult for feeling this way. You are not dramatic for needing boundaries. And you are not selfish for protecting your nervous system. You are responding to something real. And you are allowed to do Christmas differently. One of the reasons people struggle so much at Christmas is because they second-guess themselves. They wonder, am I overreacting? Maybe I'm being too sensitive. It's not that bad, is it? Other people seem fine with them. So let's clear something up gently and clearly. Toxic does not mean imperfect. It does not mean someone who annoys you occasionally. It does not mean normal disagreements or different opinions. Toxic means a pattern. A pattern where your boundaries are ignored or mocked. Your feelings are minimized or dismissed. You feel anxious, small, or on edge around someone. You leave interactions feeling drained, guilty, or confused. You are expected to tolerate behavior that hurts you. And often, the most damaging toxicity isn't loud. It's subtle. It looks like emotional manipulation wrapped in concern, guilt used as a tool for control, criticism disguised as humor. I'm just being honest, used as a weapon, your needs being framed as unreasonable. And because it's subtle, people learn to doubt themselves instead of the behavior. Especially if they were raised in environments where conflict was avoided, emotions were inconvenient, speaking up had consequences, love was conditional. So if you've ever felt like you needed to prepare yourself before seeing certain family members, that's not imagination. If you've ever rehearsed what not to say, planned how to stay quiet, or braced yourself emotionally in advance, your body is giving you information. And that information deserves respect. Here's something important to hear. You do not need to prove someone is toxic to justify protecting yourself. You don't need a diagnosis. You don't need agreement from others. You don't need a dramatic story. If your nervous system consistently feels unsafe, that is reason enough. And here's what toxic is not. It is not your responsibility to fix people. It is not your job to keep the peace at your own expense. It is not love to tolerate harm in silence. You are allowed to trust your experience even if others minimize it. You are allowed to choose distance even if someone shares your blood. And you are allowed to redefine what family means based on safety, not obligation. One of the most confusing parts of dealing with toxic family members is how physical the reaction can feel. You might notice your shoulders tighten, your stomach churns, your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, you feel tired before you've even arrived. And you may think, why am I reacting like this? Nothing has even happened yet. But your body isn't reacting to this moment. It's reacting to patterns it has learned over time. Your nervous system doesn't operate on logic or social rules. It operates on safety and threat. And if, over years, your body learned that, certain people invalidate you, certain environments require you to stay guarded, certain conversations lead to conflict, guilt, or emotional harm, then your body prepares in advance. This is not weakness, this is protection. Your system is saying, I've been here before. I know what this costs. That's why Christmas can feel so intense. It brings proximity, longer exposure, old roles, fewer exits. And your nervous system recognizes the setup. This is important because when you don't understand this, you end up fighting yourself. You tell yourself, I should calm down. I should be more relaxed. I shouldn't feel like this. But calming down doesn't come from force. It comes from safety cues. Your body needs to know. You're allowed to step away. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to leave early. You're allowed to protect your energy. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about signaling safety to your nervous system. And when your body knows you have options, it softens. You breathe more easily. You feel less trapped. You stop bracing. This is why boundaries aren't rude. They're regulating. And learning this changes everything. When people hear the word boundaries, they often imagine confrontation, arguments, coldness, ultimatums, cutting people off. And because of that, many avoid boundaries altogether, not because they don't need them, but because they don't want to hurt anyone or cause conflict. So let's be very clear. Boundaries are not punishment. They are not about changing someone else. They are not about proving a point. Boundaries are about how you choose to participate. They are decisions you make for yourself, not demands you place on others. A boundary sounds like, I won't stay in conversations where I'm spoken to like that. I'm leaving earlier this year. I'm not discussing this topic. I'll visit, but I won't stay overnight. I'm not available for that. Notice something important. None of these require the other person to agree. That's where people get stuck. They think boundaries only work if others understand or approve. They don't. A boundary works when you honor it. And here's the part many people need to hear. You do not need to explain your boundary in detail to make it valid. Over-explaining often comes from guilt, from feeling like you need permission to protect yourself. But you don't. You are allowed to be brief. You are allowed to repeat yourself calmly. You are allowed to disengage. And if someone reacts badly to your boundary, that reaction is information. Healthy people may be disappointed, but they respect limits. Toxic dynamics tend to push back, guilt trip, minimize, or escalate. That doesn't mean your boundary was wrong. It means it was necessary. Boundaries don't destroy relationships. They reveal them. And at Christmas, when emotions run high, boundaries become an act of self-respect. Not rebellion, not cruelty, self-respect. And the more calmly and consistently you hold them, the safer you will feel inside yourself, regardless of how others behave. One of the biggest fears people have around Christmas is not just seeing certain family members, it's being stuck in the room with them. The comments, the looks, the subtle digs, the emotional atmosphere you can feel before anyone even speaks. So let's talk about something important. You cannot control other people's behavior, but you can protect your nervous system while you're around them. And that protection doesn't have to be obvious. It starts internally. 1. Ground yourself before you arrive. Don't walk in already depleted. Before you go, remind yourself, I don't have to engage with everything. I can leave if I need to. I am not trapped. Even saying this quietly to yourself signals safety to your body. Your nervous system needs to know you have choices. 2. Stay in your body, not their behavior. Toxic dynamics pull you into reaction. They want your attention, your energy, your emotional labor. When you notice yourself getting pulled in, bring your awareness back to something physical. Your feet on the floor, your breath, the weight of your body in the chair. This isn't dissociation, it's grounding. It keeps you present without being absorbed. 3. Limit emotional access. You don't have to share your inner world with people who don't treat it gently. You can keep things neutral, surface level, brief. This isn't being fake, it's being selective. You are allowed to protect what's tender. 4. Choose calm repetition over explanation. If a boundary is pushed, you don't need new words. You can repeat yourself calmly. I'm not discussing that. I've made my decision. That doesn't work for me. No defense, no justification. Calm repetition is powerful and regulating. 5. Give yourself permission to step away. You can go to the bathroom, step outside, change rooms, leave early. You do not need a dramatic reason. Your body's discomfort is reason enough. And every time you honor that signal, you build trust with yourself. Here's the most important thing to remember. Staying regulated doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means staying connected to yourself. You don't have to win the room. You don't have to correct anyone. You don't have to make the day work. You just have to protect your peace. Guilt is often the hardest part of setting boundaries at Christmas. Not the behavior, not the conversations. The guilt, the voice that says, I should be more understanding. Their family. It's only once a year. I don't want to be the difficult one. I don't want to hurt anyone. So many people stay in harmful situations not because they want to, but because they've been taught that choosing themselves is selfish. Let's gently reframe that. Guilt is not always a sign that you're doing something wrong. Often, it's a sign that you're doing something new, especially if you were raised to prioritize others' comfort over your own. Keep the peace at all costs. Minimize your needs. Be easy to deal with. When you begin to honor yourself, guilt can appear, not because you're being unkind, but because you're breaking an old pattern. And here's something important to understand. You can care about people and still protect yourself. You can have compassion without sacrificing your well-being. You can love from a distance without abandoning your values. Releasing guilt does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming clear. Clear about what you will and won't tolerate. Clear about what costs you too much. Clear about what kind of relationship you are available for. And clarity is not cruelty. If someone feels hurt by your boundary, that does not automatically mean you did harm. Sometimes people feel hurt because they no longer have access to something they benefited from. Your silence, your compliance, your emotional labor, that discomfort belongs to them, not you. You are allowed to let others have feelings without taking responsibility for them. And when you stop carrying guilt that isn't yours, something soft but powerful happens. You feel lighter, more grounded, more self-respecting. And that is not something to apologize for. There is a belief that still weighs heavily on people at Christmas, that if you create distance, you're avoiding something. Running away, being immature, holding a grudge. But that belief isn't always true. Sometimes distance is not avoidance, it's self-respect, especially when you've already tried. Explaining yourself, being patient, being understanding, being the bigger person, giving second, third, fourth chances. Distance becomes necessary when proximity consistently costs you your peace. And that distance doesn't have to look dramatic. It can be staying for a shorter time, visiting less frequently, limiting contact to neutral settings, not engaging emotionally, choosing phone calls over in-person gatherings, or choosing not to attend at all. Distance doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to stop placing yourself in harm's way. And here's something many people need to hear. You do not owe anyone access to you simply because they are family. Access is built on respect, not obligation. If being around someone consistently leaves you feeling anxious, diminished, unsafe, unheard, emotionally drained, then your nervous system is asking for space. And listening to that is not weakness, it's wisdom. Christmas often pressures people into closeness that hasn't been earned. But real connection doesn't come from forced proximity. It comes from safety, and sometimes the safest choice is a little more distance. That choice does not make you cold. It does not make you cruel. And it certainly does not make you unloving. It makes you someone who understands that self-respect is not negotiable. One of the most freeing realizations you can have is this. Christmas does not get to mean the same thing for everyone. It doesn't have to look the way it always has. It doesn't have to center the same people. It doesn't have to follow traditions that no longer feel safe or true. You are allowed to redefine it. For some people, Christmas becomes quieter. For others, simpler. For others, smaller but more honest. And none of those are failures. They are evolutions. When you stop forcing yourself into roles that no longer fit, Christmas becomes less about endurance and more about alignment. Alignment with your nervous system, your values, your emotional capacity, who you are now, not who you were expected to be. You might decide that Christmas means protecting your peace, choosing comfort over obligation, creating new rituals that feel grounding, spending time with people who feel safe, or spending time alone without shame. There is nothing wrong with any of that. In fact, for many people, this is the first Christmas that feels truly authentic. You don't need permission to make this shift. You don't need consensus. You don't need to justify your choices. You are allowed to build a version of Christmas that does not cost you your well-being. And when you do that, something changes inside you. The dread softens, the tension eases. The holiday stops feeling like something to survive. It becomes something you can move through with dignity and self-respect. And that is more meaningful than any tradition you leave behind. If you've been listening to this and thinking, I don't know if I can handle this Christmas, I want you to hear this clearly. You already are handling it. The fact that you're aware, the fact that you're preparing, the fact that you're questioning old patterns instead of automatically repeating them, that is strength. Not the loud kind, not the confrontational kind, the quiet, grounded kind. You are not walking into this Christmas unarmed. You now understand why your body reacts, why boundaries matter, why guilt doesn't mean wrongdoing, why distance can be self-respect, why you're allowed to choose peace. And that understanding changes how you move. You may still feel nervous. You may still feel unsure. You may still feel emotional. That doesn't mean you're unprepared. It means you're human. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything will go perfectly. It comes from trusting yourself to respond if it doesn't. And you can pause. You can step away. You can say no. You can leave early. You can choose yourself. You don't need to win Christmas. You don't need to fix anyone. You don't need to make the day work for everyone else. You just need to stay connected to you. And that connection, once you have it, changes everything. As this Christmas approaches, I want to leave you with something solid to stand on. You are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. You are not required to absorb discomfort to keep the peace. You are not obligated to stay in situations that cost you your well-being. Choosing yourself does not mean you are abandoning anyone. It means you are no longer abandoning you. You can walk into this Christmas knowing you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to tolerate disrespect. You don't have to shrink to be accepted. You don't have to sacrifice your nervous system for tradition. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to leave early or not attend at all. You are allowed to choose peace, quietly, firmly, without drama. And if at any point you feel that familiar pull to override yourself, pause, breathe, come back to your body. Ask yourself one simple question. What protects my peace right now? Let that answer guide you. This Christmas does not need to be perfect. It does not need to look like anyone else's. It does not need to meet expectations that hurt you. It only needs to honor who you are now. And when you choose yourself with calm and clarity, you are not creating distance from love. You are creating space for it. Real love does not require self-betrayal. So whatever this Christmas brings, walk into it grounded, aware, and self-respecting. You are capable. You are allowed. And you are not alone in choosing yourself. I want you to know something important. You can come back to it as many times as you need. Watch it again before you walk into a difficult situation. Watch it again when doubt creeps in. Watch it again when you need reminding that you are allowed to choose yourself. Because the more you hear these words, the more your body remembers them. You deserve peace. You deserve a life that feels calm, safe, and respectful. And you are allowed to protect that without guilt. If this video resonated with you, please like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm push this message out to others who may really need it this Christmas. As always, this has been Valkyrie. Thank you for stopping by, and I wish you a beautiful, gentle, and peaceful Christmas.